21. The Messiah. There was hunger among my people before I went away across the big water, because the Wasatchews did not give us all the food they promised in the Black Hills Treaty. They made that treaty themselves. Our people did not want it and did not make it. Yet the Wasatchews, who made it, had given us less than half as much as they promised. So the people were hungry before I went away. But it was worse when I came back. My people looked pitiful. There was a big drought, and the rivers and creeks seemed to be dying. Nothing would grow that the people had planted, and the Wasatchews had been sending less cattle and other food than ever before. The Wasatchews had slaughtered all the bison and shut us up in pens. It looked as though we might all starve to death. We could not eat lies, and there was nothing we could do. And now the Wasatchews had made another treaty to take away from us about half the land we had left. Our people did not want this treaty either, but 3 stars. General Crook headed the commission that arranged the Treaty of 1889, came and made the treaty just the same, because the Wasatchews wanted our land, between the smoky earth and the good river. So the flood of Wasatchews, dirty with bad deeds, gnawed away half of the island that was left to us. When 3 stars came to kill us on the Rosebud, Crazy Horse whipped him and drove him back. But when he came back this time, without any soldiers, he whipped us and drove us back. We were penned up and could do nothing. All the time I was away from home across the big water, my power was gone, and I was like a dead man moving around most of the time. I could hardly remember my vision, and when I did remember, it seemed like a dim dream. Just after I came back, some people asked me to cure a sick person, and I was afraid the power would not come back to me. But it did. So I went on helping the sick, and there were many, for the measles had come among the people who were already weak because of hunger. There were more sick people that winter when the whooping cough came and killed little children who did not have enough to eat. So it was. Our people were pitiful and in despair. But early that summer, when I came back from across the big water, 1889, strange news had come from the west, and the people had been talking and talking about it. They were talking about it when I came home, and that was the first thing I had heard of it. This news came to the Oglalas first of all, and I heard that it came to us from the Shoshones and Blue Clouds, Arapahoes. Some believed it, and some did not believe it. It was hard to believe, and when I first heard of it, I thought it was only foolish talk that somebody had started somewhere. This news said that out yonder in the west, at a place near where the great mountains, the Sierras, stand before you come to the big water, there was a sacred man among the Paiutes who had talked to the Great Spirit in a vision, and the Great Spirit had told him how to save the Indian peoples and make the Wasatchews disappear and bring back all the bison and the people who were dead, and how there would be a new earth. Before I came back, the people had got together to talk about this, and they had sent 3 men, Good Thunder, Brave Bear, and Yellow Breast, to see this sacred man with their own eyes and learn if the story about him was true. So these 3 men had made the long journey west, and in the fall after I came home, they returned to the Oglalas with wonderful things to tell. There was a big meeting at the head of White Clay Creek, not far from Pine Ridge, when they came back, but I did not go over there to hear, because I did not yet believe. I thought maybe it was only the despair that made people believe, just as a man who is starving may dream of plenty, of everything good to eat. I did not go over to the meeting, but I heard all they had to tell. These 3 men all said the same thing, and they were good men. They said that they traveled far until they came to a great flat valley, Mason Valley, Nevada, near the last great mountains before the big water, and there they saw the Wanikia, one who makes live, who was the son of the Great Spirit, and they talked to him. Wasachus called him Jack Wilson, but his name was Wavoka. We told them that there was another world coming, just like a cloud. It would come in a whirlwind out of the west, and would crush out everything on this world, which was old and dying. In that other world there was plenty of meat, just like old times, and in that world all the dead Indians were alive, and all the bison that had ever been killed were roaming around again. This sacred man gave some sacred red paint and 2 eagle feathers to Good Thunder. The people must put this paint on their faces, and they must dance a ghost dance that the sacred man taught to Good Thunder, Yellow Breast, and Brave Bear. If they did this, they could get on this other world when it came, and the Wasachus would not be able to get on, and so they would disappear. When he gave the 2 eagle feathers to Good Thunder, the sacred man said, "Receive these eagle feathers, and behold them, for my father will cause these to bring your people back to him." This was all that was heard the whole winter. When I heard this about the red paint and the eagle feathers, and about bringing the people back to the Great Spirit, it made me think hard. I had a great vision that was to bring the people back into the nation's hoop, and maybe this sacred man had the same vision, and it was going to come true, so that the people would get back on the red road. Maybe I was not meant to do this myself, but if I helped with the power that was given me, the tree might bloom again, and the people prosper. This was in my mind all that winter, but I did not know what vision the sacred man out there had seen, and I wished I could talk to him and find out. This was sitting deeper in my mind every day, and it was a very bad winter, with much hunger and sickness. My father died in the first part of the winter from the bad sickness that many people had. This made me very sad. Everything good seemed to be going away. My younger brother and sister had died before I came home, and now I was fatherless in this world. But I still had my mother. I was working in a store for the Wasachus so that I could get something for her to eat, and I just kept on working there and thinking about what Good Thunder, Yellow Breast, and Brave Bear had told, but I did not feel sure yet. During that winter, the people wanted to hear some more about this sacred man and the new world coming, so they sent more men out there to learn what they could. Good Thunder and Yellow Breast, with 2 others, went from Pine Ridge. Some went with them from other agencies, and 2 of these were Kicking Bear and Short Bull. News came back from these men as they traveled west, and it seemed that everywhere people believed all that we had heard, and more. Letters came back telling us this. I kept on working in the store and helping sick people with my power. Then it was spring, 1890, and I heard that these men had all come back from the west, and that they said it was all true. I did not go to this meeting either, but I heard the gossip that was everywhere now, and people said it was really the son of the Great Spirit who was out there, that when he came to the Wasachus a long time ago, they had killed him, but he was coming to the Indians this time, and there would not be any Wasachus in the new world that would come like a cloud in a whirlwind and crush out the old earth that was dying. This, they said, would happen after one more winter when the grasses were appearing, 1891. I heard many wonderful things about the Wanikia that these men had seen and heard, and they were good men. He could make animals talk, and once while they were with him, he made a spirit vision, and they all saw it. They saw a big water, and beyond it was a beautiful green land, where all the Indians that had ever lived, and the bison and the other animals, were all coming home together. Then the Wanikia, they said, made the vision go out, because it was not yet time for this to happen. After another winter it would happen, when the grasses were appearing, and once, they said, the Winikia held out his hat for them to look into, and when they did this, all but one saw there the whole world, but that one could see only the inside of the hat, they said. Good Thunder himself told me that, with the power of the Winikia, he had gone to a bison skin teepee, and there his son, who had been dead a long time, was living with his wife, and they had a long talk together. This was not like my great vision, and I just went on working in the store. I was puzzled and did not know what to think. After a while, I heard that north of Pine Ridge, at the head of Cheyenne Creek, Kicking Bear had held the first ghost dance, and that people who danced had seen their dead relatives and talked to them. The next thing I heard was that they were dancing on Wounded Knee Creek, just below Manderson. I did not believe yet, but I wanted to find out things because all this was sitting more and more strongly in my heart since my father died. Something seemed to tell me to go and see. For a while I kept from going, but at last I could not any more, so I got on my horse and went to this ghost dance on Wounded Knee Creek below Manderson. I was surprised and could hardly believe what I saw, because so much of my vision seemed to be in it. The dancers, both women and men, were holding hands in a big circle, and in the center of the circle they had a tree painted red with most of its branches cut off, and some dead leaves on it. This was exactly like the part of my vision where the holy tree was dying, and the circle of the men and women holding hands was like the sacred hoop that should have power to make the tree bloom again. I saw too that the sacred articles the people had offered were scarlet, as in my vision, and all their faces were painted red. Also, they used the pipe and eagle feathers. I sat there looking on and feeling sad. It all seemed to be from my great vision somehow, and I had done nothing yet to make the tree to bloom. Then all at once great happiness overcame me, and it all took hold of me right there. This was to remind me to get to work at once and help to bring my people back into the sacred hoop, that they might again walk the red road in a sacred manner, pleasing to the powers of the universe that are one power. I remembered how the spirits had taken me to the center of the earth and shown me the good things, and how my people should prosper. I remembered how the 6 grandfathers had told me that through their power I should make my people live, and the holy tree should bloom. I believed my vision was coming true at last, and happiness overcame me. When I went to the dance, I went only to see and to learn what the people believed. But now I was going to stay and use the power that had been given me. The dance was over for that day, but they would dance again next day, and I would dance with them.